Marcus C. Williams here. How you guys doing today? So let's talk business. We're going to talk about some business real quick. I got a couple of things I got to get into and go and do, so I'm not going to make this very long. But I am really, really interested in helping people grow and develop themselves personally and their business, which is why I do business coaching and development. So that's a very big thing to me. I love to see people succeed. I want to see everybody succeed as much as possible. And I'm as sincere as possible when I say that. I want to see you succeed in business. I want to see you succeed in life because you can succeed. A lot of that boils down to work ethic, though, right? So a lot of people that have businesses complain, oh, it's hard to find people to work. Oh, people don't want to work. Oh, this, oh, that. And that's a true statement. That is not extension of the truth at all. That is 100% a true statement. You can hire all the people in the world. You can pay them great salaries. And still, many people do not want to work. Or let me rephrase that. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a life story. So I have a couple retail businesses. One of my retail businesses, we hired somebody, right? Now, in my retail business, when I do retail business hiring and when I do any type of business hiring, we have a set of things that you're going to be responsible for when you apply and expectations, right? Like, that's understandable. So there are certain expectations when you look at a job app or something and you're like, oh, okay, right? Like you should read the expectations of a job, right? Like that's important, right? Like if you're a mechanic, like nobody should have to tell you that you're probably going to get dirty. I mean, it's something that's interesting to see. And I've seen this firsthand and I'll tell you what happened. So we've got all of these different things on the paper. You know, it's one paper. I don't like anything. If it goes past the page, I don't even hand it to me, right? I don't want anything past one page. More than one page, you start to lose people and stuff like that. We can always expand upon stuff later on. So we hired this individual. So we request duties of the job to be completed that they agreed to when they applied for the job, which are in the title of the role in which they applied for. Now, I don't know what type of company you work in, or if you work in a company at all, or if you own your own business, or if you've ever had to deal with employees. But when you have a role in a company, a specific company, when you apply for a role, that particular role is what the company expects of you. This is why they put that position out there. This is why you are being paid. So this particular individual was asked on multiple occasions to legitimately do their job, you know, the responsibilities and stuff that they had signed up for. And they were just completely unwilling. Not that they were physically unable. Okay. Not that it was an unreasonable ask, but they were unwilling to do the job that they were hired and were being paid to do. Now, see, there's a difference between volunteering to do something, being voluntold to do something. We've all been there, been voluntold to do something. And there's a difference between you being paid cash money or to your bank account, however you get paid. You know what I'm saying? Gold bullion, whatever you get, however the way that you get paid, stocks and bonds, whatever. But you're getting paid to do a job and uphold the duties of your job. And this person did not want to do their job. So they were terminated, of course, because the company relied on them to fulfill the duties of that job. The company needed those duties done. That's why we were hiring to begin with. Because we don't need you if you're not doing those duties. Why would we hire you if you don't want to do those duties? Worse off, if it is in the title of your position, you would think, you know, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing. But that's neither here nor there. This goes to the wider conversation on work ethic, right? Work ethic. What has happened to work ethic in our society? It's like it's completely evaporated and dried up for a large number of people. And it's going to become more and more difficult as I guess you would say, the news media, the government, and everybody else tells everyone that they're entitled to free shit just because they breathe. Now, I'm a Christian, okay? And I don't hide that fact, okay? But nowhere in the Bible does it say that you are entitled to free shit just because you breathe. As a matter of fact, if you read the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, or any of literally the majority of the holy books across the world, okay, in different religions, all of them say, expect to work hard and toil for what you want to achieve. Matter of fact, there's a quote, and I can't remember where it is in the Bible, but it basically says, and if any of you are listening and you know what this quote is in the Bible that I'm talking about, please drop it in the comments. So roughly summarize, the quote says, if you don't work hard, you're going to lose everything you got. And if you do work hard, the Lord will bless you with everything that you need. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing. But that's a concept that people have completely missed. I saw a young lady on, I think it was Facebook or something, Facebook Reels. And it was a video that had been transferred over from TikTok. She's working 40 hours a week, right? And she was upset, so upset that she had to work 40 hours a week. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's slavery. It's slavery, bro. 40 hours a week is slavery, bro. Like, this is the mentality and the mindset that people have in the world now. And you're getting paid. Deuteronomy 15:10. Thank you very much, Erica. I really appreciate you. So it's and that was just mind blowing to me, right? Like, not only do you honestly, clearly, earnestly believe that what you're saying is true, but you're putting it out online so I was going to call them fools, but so other people can absorb that idiocy as well. You understand? Like, that was out of control. And that wasn't the only video I saw. I've seen multiple different videos, and we're talking about in recent time, right? There's another lady, she was upset that she had to work 5 days a week. Oh my God, I have to go to some place and work to get money 5 days a week that I don't want to be at. Let's be very clear, since we're talking business, right? If you are employed right now and you don't like where you're working, up your skills, up your skill level, either in the field that you're working in or in another field that you desire to move into and pivot into. Because if you don't increase your value to the market, you're not going to be able to increase your pay scale. And then on top of that, you have to actually find a job or a position in which they are willing to hire you, in which you will probably have competition. So you need to be top A1, A-rated of your stature, whatever it may be. If you're a plumber, you need to be the number one damn plumber. Okay. If you're a librarian, you need to be the number one librarian. Okay. Librarian's probably a little bit harder, right? Because who the heck has a librarian degree? I suppose people that actually go out into that type of a field have very, very, very hard time finding a job, because there are very few positions for librarians in the world, right? Like, a librarian can only be a librarian. It's like getting a degree in fine arts. You better be at the tip top of that, because how many people to go to get a degree in fine arts, and there's like 3 jobs for that in the world. Like, I'm under exaggerating, but I'm also being very, very serious. Erica, what'd you say? Find somewhere else to work at. That's the point. Yes, no, it's true. Because you were hired for the job in which you're expected to do. If you don't like where you work, up your skill level. Don't bitch, bemoan the job that you're at. Do the job that you were hired to do. Do the job well, and do it phenomenally, because you never know who might be watching. That person that walks in to the business that you're working at might be the next person that helps galvanize you forward on your way to your next position that you want in the realm of whatever it is that you specifically want to do. But people and this is another video, right? There's a video of this guy that works at Starbucks. I think it was a guy. I don't remember. It was one of those things with all the stuff in their face that don't identify as the appropriate gender that they were born as or whatever. And I just I can't be supportive because I don't know. And it's so hard to know or understand. And I'm not gonna go out of my way to try to do something that you decided that you wanted to morph into. Okay, you are not an Animorph, if any of you guys remember that show, or read the books. I've never read the books, but I've seen the show. But neither here nor there. So this person was working at Starbucks, and they were bawling. They were bawling, right, on the video because they were working, what did they say? 8 hours a day. 8 hours a day. They only worked 4 days a week. Now, this is a crazy thing, right? They were only working 4 days a week, but they were working 8 hours a day, and they were bawling. Oh, my manager is terrible. How dare they have me work 8 hours a day? Who could work under these conditions? At Starbucks, bro? What are you, pouring and making coffee and coffee-esque drinks? Maybe giving somebody some sandwiches and a muffin? Like, what is your problem? Like, what is so terrible about your job? Trying to pronounce the people's names on the cups? Because clearly y'all can't do that right. The name says Jonathan on there. You're like, Juanainen? Come on now. Like, you can't even get the names right on the cups. And you guys are complaining about working 8 hours. But you signed up for the job, right? Like, you're working the job that you interviewed for. It's not like somebody kidnapped you off the street and said, hey, you're doing this job. You've got no other choice. This is what you're doing. Why? Why? And I'm sure that they went over the amount of hours that you'd be looking to get, right? So what was the problem? What was the problem? I'm going to tell you, it's the work ethic. It's the work ethic, and it's the fact that people do not want to, let me rephrase that. It's the fact that people do not understand the point of entry-level positions. But it's worse than that. It's not entry-level positions. It's many positions, because it's not just the entry-level positions that you see that at. During the time running up to the pandemic, and during the pandemic, we had the great ghosting. So that's where even very large corporate jobs that are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars a year would recruit people. They'd interview them, they'd hire them, and they'd never come to work. Never come to work. $100,000 a job year. And they'd never actually start to work. What the hell? This is where we are right now. The problem with people is they don't understand that the purpose of the job is to personally develop yourself and maximize your potential in that position. If you are the floor washer, you need to be the best daggone floor washer. Kanye West's song, and I can't remember the name of it, but Kanye West has a song, an old song. I think it was off of one of his first 2 albums. And it was like this, was it Gold Digger? I think it was Gold Digger, you know? It said, this week he's mopping the floor, next week it's the fries, right? Because he's moving up. He's being upwardly mobile because he's mopping the shit out that floor, right? So the people that are working with him, that are his managers and his superiors, are seeing this work ethic. They go, oh man, wow, he's really doing a very good job, working hard at it. Let's see if we can move him up down the line, you know? And maybe you work hard at your job, right? And maybe you there's no position open for you to move up to. But once that position comes up to, you're more likely to get it than the person that don't do nothing about nothing and is always complaining. So that's something that people need to understand. Another very important thing is that you should be learning from your job about your industry, whatever industry it's in. If you making milkshakes, you need to be learning about the milkshake industry, how it operates. and how you can be better at your job and how you can maximize your potential, because you need to be the best you and you need to be the brightest shining star that you can be. Okay? When it's concerning to me because people do not gain the knowledge from the jobs that they have. They look at the jobs as a paycheck. They don't look at it as a learning experience. Every job that you undertake, you should be learning. Your focus should be on learning whatever that is that you have taken the responsibility of. If you're going to be a car detailer, you need to figure out what's the best way to detail a car? What are the best tools to use? How can you maximize your time and minimize the effort that's required to put into it, while at the same time maximizing the cleanliness and the end result? You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is something that's lost. If you're in a sales position, which I'm a sales professional, that's my trade, So many people that I've hired for sales positions, working within my own businesses and working in other people's businesses, and they do not learn the sales skills at the job. I swear to goodness, in my retail businesses, we usually do specialized training on sales. I talk often about sales. I very firmly believe everybody should have some training in sales. But people don't want to learn. They don't care. And I know some of you guys out there work at like call centers that hire people, and you see people not really engaging in the trainings that they do when they first start them off. These are important things. The learning material there is important. Let me see. Erica said something. Let's see what you say, Erica. I've never seen such things like you just said. The work ethic. A month ago, coming from Buffalo Airport towards Lockport, none of the fast food places even had their lobbies open and had big signs. Okay, are we back? It looks like we were experiencing some lag there. But yeah, you're right, Erica, 100% right. People do not want to work. Are we back now? Okay. So people do not want to work, and it's a problem. It's a very, very serious issue, because now we see the rise of AI. We see the rise of these machines. We see large companies like Walmart talking about if they continue to get the number of thefts. Walmart lost $3 billion last year from theft, right? Which, I don't know if you guys know anything about retail theft. Most retail theft is done by employees. Like, that's not me just saying something out of my mouth. That's a fact. That's a statistic. Hold on one second. That's a fact. That's a statistic. That's true. So Walmart's like, listen, we'll shut down all of our brick and mortar stores and just do stuff online. Jiminy crackers. How many jobs would that be? But all of it goes back to work ethic, right? And maximizing your potential. Y'all out here stealing from the jobs that employ you, right? There's a saying, and the saying goes, don't shit where you eat, right? Don't shit where you eat. Why are y'all shitting where you eat? And not to defer, because this is the business talk, not to defer too far from there. But I don't know if you guys seen all the riots and stuff that we had in Rochester, or the riots literally all across the country in the last couple of years. Everybody's screaming Black Lives Matter and then go tear up, burn down all of the black neighborhoods, right? If you really cared about blacks, you wouldn't be tearing up black neighborhoods. Don't shit where you eat. Now, it's baffling. It's absolutely baffling to see so many people that are not taking advantage of these jobs that we have now, right? That are available, because they will not be available in another 4 years, maybe. And I say that lightly. Like, I'm probably over exaggerating. It's probably not 4 years. We're probably talking 2, 3 years. I could imagine with this impending uh, greater depression that we're about to hit, all the jobs and stuff that go away because all of these different businesses close up because the currency changeover is a problem, which is another thing they're working on doing, the central bank digital currency. So if you're operating a business or looking to go into business, you need to research the digital dollar. That's important. That's going to be important coming down the line, and see how you could possibly maximize benefit from that. That's a freebie for y'all. But it's really, really important that we maximize our potential in what we do. You know, you got a lot of people spend hundreds of hours on a video game to get proficient and good at the video game. Spend hundreds, thousands of hours doing martial arts so that you can be the top martial artist in your field. You know, doctors spend thousands of hours of studying to be a doctor. You know what I'm saying? To be in the top of their profession. Spend thousands of hours in surgery to be a top surgeon. You know, like, these are things that people need to be focused on. You have to be maximizing your growth potential in your self development. If you're not maximizing your growth potential in your self development, you're going to lose out and you're going to miss out. You know? So for me, it's very frustrating as somebody who's been in hiring for entry-level positions and stuff like that, to see so many people not want these really easy positions. I saw a great example is this Starbucks, right? Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Starbucks or if there's a Starbucks where you live where you're watching this. Starbucks is a US domestic coffee chain, right? So you go into a Starbucks, the general Starbucks has maybe one or two people that work the counter and the registers, and then you might have a couple of people that float around doing different things. The job, again, as I mentioned earlier, if you've been on this whole time, it's not a very hard or difficult job. Okay, it doesn't require a lot. These people here are talking about they want to unionize because they want more. You want more what? You're pouring coffee. What do you want more? You want what? What do you expect? It's an entry-level job that requires no skills. I can get Guillermo that just crossed the border to do your job. Okay. And I say that with all sincerity because there are people that are in other parts of the world or even other parts of the country that would legitimately you for your job. They'd you the first chance they got just for your job. And you're up here complaining about working at a coffee shop. Geez Louise, could you imagine if that person had to work in a coal mine? That's why coal will never come back. But that's a whole nother conversation. Actually, there is a great potential for coal in the future, but that's a whole nother conversation. You guys know me, I'm an environmental conservationist, and I lean towards the nuclear and hydropower side of things. But there is potential for coal in the future. And that's a whole nother thing. I think I'll cover some of the energy stuff in the news video I do later this evening. But when it comes to business and it comes to growing your business, you got to try to find these people that are willing to work, that are willing to grow with you. And it is not an easy task. It is not an easy task. And I encourage you all, do not get disheartened. Okay. When you're looking for employees, when you're trying to hire people or convince people to get on board with whatever project it is that you're working on, do not get discouraged because people aren't worth a lick. Okay, a lick or a spit, many of them. But it's not everybody, right? There are people out there that'll work diligently, that'll work hard. It's just not as common anymore because we in America, I can't talk about other countries, I don't live in other countries, have largely been, how would you say, thrust into a culture nowadays that does not encourage work ethic, that does not encourage personal growth and development. You know, we've got all of these, oh, you should be whatever you want to be, as far as if you want to identify as a dog, you should be a dog. If you want to identify as an elf, you can be an elf. Stop. But the only thing that they don't talk about as far as personally does is personal growth and development. You know, what happened to, oh, you can be anything you want. You could be the president. You could be anything you want. You can be an astronaut. No, nowadays it's you can be anything you want. If you're a boy, you don't have to be a boy. What the hell? How low have our standards sunk as a nation? And the worst thing is that there's a saying, and I'm paraphrasing it because I don't remember it verbatim, but there's a saying that all wars are fought by the youth, right? And it's led by old guys in command. But there's another saying that's similar to that, which is everything that you see around you is made by a youth, right? Somebody that's young. It's not a whole bunch of old people manufacturing all the goods and stuff like that. You know, as far as not really necessarily physical goods, but really physical goods, but roads, construction, stuff like that. Like hard labor, things that labor is a young person's game. Okay. But if you can't find people with work ethic, you won't be able to get anything built outside of having machines to do the work. You know, and this is a serious problem that we're facing as a whole. We have to restore this work ethic to our society. Do I have the answer or the solution to that? I'm working on it because I'm all about that solution life. I'm working on figuring out exactly what that solution is. But I'll tell you what the solution is that I have right now. Encourage it in your children. Encourage a good work ethic in your children. Encourage it in your family. Encourage it in your friends. Encourage it. And when you see somebody working hard and toiling, you give them congratulations and acknowledgement. Give them congratulations and acknowledgement. Just let them know that they're seen, because sometimes that's all that they need to encourage them to continue to move forward and champion on. And it doesn't cost you anything to do that. Say, hey, I see you over there working hard. Good job. Keep it up. You know, like, oh, what a stellar job you've done. Keep it up. You know, it costs you nothing. But that's how we start to slowly return to work ethic. If we have any jobs in the future, like I said, the next 3 years, we're going to look through a topsy-turvy thing. And a lot of people, we're going to lose hundreds of millions of jobs. I don't care what anybody says. It's going to be hundreds of millions, at least tens of millions. Okay. If not more, it depends on a lot of different factors, but we're going to at least lose tens of millions of jobs in the next couple years, because with the rise of automation, we've already seen Denny's. We've already seen, matter of fact, December, I want to say the 23rd, right before Christmas, McDonald's opened its first fully automated not drive-through, but store, fully automated McDonald's. Don't need no people. Well, I mean, they need some people. Like you get like a person to load the food and stuff like that, but no real staff, right? That's where the world is going. So now you got all these service jobs, and I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with ChatGPT or anything like that, or OpenAI or anything like that. Like, this is an AI that's low level as far as I'm concerned, and it's extremely efficient and extremely it's good, right? Like, it's good. It's good at what it does. But those type of things, there was an AI Facebook created a couple of years ago. I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago right now. Facebook created an AI. The AI started to code so fast and so good, it decided that the coding language it was coding in was not efficient enough. It rewrote its own coding language. And now people were having a hard time understanding the coding language and keeping up with what the AI was doing. So the AI cloned its own baby, so it could do an even better job, because the AI said, the people that coded me didn't do a good enough job. Let me make myself more efficient. And it made its own offspring, which was even better than it. So it and the offspring started communicating with each other. And everything got so out of hand, Facebook had to shut the whole thing down. Facebook had to shut the whole thing down because it was too far and too complex past what humans were able to understand. This was 6 years ago now. You know, 5, 6 years ago. So that just shows you where we're going towards the future. If people aren't paying attention, we're going to lose service jobs, hospitality jobs, middle management jobs, other service and customer facing jobs will be gone in the next couple of years, you know? So this is, I've seen the robots that they have for bathrooms that clean the bathroom. So now you don't need somebody to go clean the bathroom. That's a whole job. There are companies out there, like for instance, one of the bigger local ones that people is more well known where I am is Jantronics, right? I think that's them, right? If I'm saying the name right. If not, correct me. They do janitorial stuff. I might be mixing up two different companies and combining them together. I done made a whole new company. But the fact of the matter is though there's whole industries. Like I have a friend, he has his own janitorial company, and that's what he does. I have somebody else that I know that's an associate that has a janitorial company. That's what he does. You know, and these are jobs that are going to soon be taken from machines that aren't even a ton of money. $30,000, $40,000, $75,000. Depends on what industry you're in, right? You know, all of these people at Starbucks are going to be out of a job in another 2 years. They won't have a job. They're not needed right now. If you ask me, you can go buy a $75,000 machine, plop it right there, and it'll do their job 20 times better at a much lower cost, far more efficient, and far faster than they would ever be able to do it. So why keep them employed? And this is where I go back to the work ethic and the personal development, right? And the business development when it comes to you as an individual. If you're not looking to grow, if you're not focusing on your own growth, if you're not paying attention to your own development, you are not going to be able to succeed in these upcoming years. It's going to be too hard and too difficult for you to achieve anything because everything is going to get so different, so fast, you won't be able to keep up. So if you're not at the top peak of your field, okay, if you're not the first thought in somebody's head when it comes to, let's say, floral arrangements, right? Like I don't buy floral arrangements. What would I need floral arrangements for? I can't remember the last time I bought a floral arrangement. Somebody buys floral arrangements. So there are floral arrangers out there, right? So if you're not like the top of the floral arrangists, I don't even know if that's how you say that, but whatever they would be called. But if you're not at the top of that, like you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. If people don't know that you are at the top in that field, you're going to miss out. And it's coming fast. And we really, 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 if you are listening to this and you've kind of been about either starting your business or focusing on being upwardly mobile in the company that you work in now, I encourage you to maximize your potential at the job you are at now. Okay. Get all that you can out of what you got going on right now. Okay. And reinvest in yourself, whether it be personal development, seminars, stuff like that, whether you get a personal coach, whether you get a professional coach. Okay. Because those are two different separate things, but sometimes they overlap. Whatever you need to do to help yourself grow. You know, whatever you need to do to give yourself the encouragement to continue to grow and development, because these next couple of years, it's going to be tough. Okay. So if you like what I'm talking about, or if anything that I say strikes a chord with you, I encourage you to go check out my website, marcuscwilliams.net. And if you'd be interested in business consulting or personal consulting or personal coaching or business coaching, reach out to me, drop a link. I've also got a couple of other things on there that if you're interested in, you just check the box and I'll reach out to you in that vein, because we're going to need a lot of people to refocus their effort and reinvest in themselves fast in order to maximize their potential as far as growth goes. The economy is shifting. It's shifting rather fast, as a matter of fact. So if we don't see that and we aren't like, okay, let me get to task right now, people are going to lose out. And I have no desire to lose out. So I'm going to be on top of it as much as I can. You understand what I'm saying? Because growth and personal development means the most to me. My life goal is to help build better people. And I'd love to help you build up yourself. So hit my website up, marcuscwilliams.net. and drop me a line. I'll catch up with you guys. You guys, I got to go. I got a meeting. You guys be blessed, be well,